Ladies and gentlemen, we come to you straight from Theatre for the New City. Tonight we present a live reading of a new play by Toby Armour, Susan B. and the Tennessee Waltz, written by Toby Armour, directed by George Ferentz, with Jenne Vath, Gregory Marlow, Richarda Abrams, and Lissa Moira. Written by Toby on Facebook, directed by George. We are so pleased and proud to present this evening. And so we find in January of 1896, we find Susan B. Anthony in the sitting room of her hotel in Philadelphia.
Susan B. Anthony, at last.
Nellie Bly, kind of you to come.
She's sitting in that low rocking chair, an image of repose and restfulness.
Nellie Bly, famous reporter, famous for interviewing famous people and asking, searching, probing, personal questions. I will be calm and good-natured.
I hear she's always calm and good-natured. And look at her, her small-shaped head, silken snowy hair, combed smoothly over her ears, resting against the back of the chair.
172 speeches last year. A year before that, even more. Sometimes 3 speeches a day. And before that, and how many thousand miles?
Her shawl fallen from her shoulders.
I need my shawl.
Her slender hands folded idly in her lap.
Must keep from fidgeting.
See her feet crossed, just peeping out from beneath her skirt. She's posing for a picture. Perfect.
Honor the press. Remember, the power of the press. Keep everybody happy.
Tell me, what was the cause of your first being a suffragist? How did you begin?
That question again. It doesn't matter. Does matter. I said to my sisters in disgust, can't you think of anything else to talk about? And the family going on and on every night at the dinner table. Of course, that was almost 60 years ago. Oh God, she's waiting for an answer.
She's not answering the question. Miss Anthony, how old were you when you first knew you would spend your life fighting for women's rights?
When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a Quaker minister. I thought God would inspire me, talk to me.
Minister? Susan!
But it's my father who's talking, and he's raising one eyebrow, which he always does when he's about to say something final.
I suggest you learn to make a living.
Teaching was it. That's all we women were allowed.
How old were you?
15. I lived in the house of a Quaker lady. I taught her children and the neighbors' children. 3 hours before dinner, 3 hours after. Got $1 a week and my board.
You'll get on very well, Susan, I'm sure. The children can be a little rowdy, but that should be no problem. And if Victor gets out of hand, well, he's so much larger than the others. But seeing as you're a girl and not like the last teacher who was a man.
What happened to the last teacher?
Well, Victor threw him out the window, but it was all a misunderstanding. I'm sure it won't happen again. Who is that? That's the new school marm. Her? What are you gonna teach us, school marm? She must be real smart, huh? Are you real smart? Hey, Victor, how about it? You gonna do like last time?
Put me down, Victor. dare you?
Now, easy does it.
This instant, or else.
What do you know? Well, here's a nice open window. Upsy daisy and ow! That's my ear!
You are going to be punished.
Oh, no, hey, you're hurting. Ma, she's whipping me. Ma!
Your first school. Were you frightened?
No, I wasn't the least bit frightened.
Did you ever whip any of your scholars?
I did, of course. In those days, this was the only way, we thought. But as I got older, I always felt less a woman when I struck a blow. So I stopped.
And you were contented to be a teacher?
I got used to it, see, but Gold Rush, 1849. Oh, I want to go to Alaska. I'll find so much gold, so much precious dust, I'll have $100,000. Oh, yes, I will quit being a schoolmarm forever. If only I were a man, I could.
And then?
I began working for the Women's Temperance Society. They were gathering signatures to present to the New York State Legislature. We traveled 54 counties in the winter, upstate New York, blizzards, ice storms, walking in the slush up to door after door.
My signature on that filthy paper.
But this is for the Women's Temperance Society.
I can't be bothered.
Hello, my name is Susan B. Anthony, and we're...
My husband would never let me.
Hello, my name is...
Leave us alone! Slam, slam, slam!
But this one, she's wiping her hand on her apron. I can hear a child whimpering in the kitchen.
Yes?
She doesn't slam the door. Maybe she's just too tired.
You want my husband? I don't know where he is. He'll be back tonight late, I suppose.
We want to free women from a terrible situation. Did you know a man can drink himself stupid, drink up all the money, and then take what little his wife earns and drink that up too?
I know.
He can come home dead drunk and beat you up every night.
I know that.
And you can't divorce him because he owns everything. Even the clothes on your back he owns. And you have nothing.
And he'll keep the children. And if he drinks himself to death, he'll leave us without a penny.
We want to change that. We're petitioning the legislature to pass a law granting women equal...
I'll sign it.
Then, after 4 months, we have come to the New York legislature to present our petition of 20,000 names.
Who signed this petition? Nothing but women and children.
Ooh, I'm so mad. Nothing. We're nothing. If we had the power to put you up there, you wouldn't laugh. And believe me, when we have the power to vote, we'll vote your head off.
That was the moment.
Well, and when I met Elizabeth Cady Stanton, short, round-cheeked little woman, fluffy white hair, but her words were not fluff. They stirred me to my very soul.
On the street, not far from my house in Seneca Falls, there you were with your good, earnest face, dressed in gray silk, hat and all the same color, only relieved with pale blue ribbons. Neatness and sobriety you were. Then you smiled. I liked you thoroughly.
I am spellbound. Elizabeth, you were my teacher, my inspiration, my philosopher.
You were my general, planning, organizing, turning ideas into action, my own little Napoleon.
And baby minder, don't forget that. Not another one, Elizabeth. 6 is enough. Enough is enough. 7?
But you loved my children.
Pulling them around the garden in that little wagon while you wrote speech after speech, petitions, resolutions, and yes, I was happy.
But how bossy you were. Remember when you locked me in the hotel room?
And you're not coming out till you write that speech.
I wrote the speech.
Fine speech.
And the fights we had at the dining room table. I'm writing, you're pacing up and down. Susan, you're making me nervous.
You nervous? Ha, never.
Then we'd get into a fight.
And you'd storm out of the room, and I'd storm out by the opposite door, each of us walking alone in the garden.
And then?
Walking together, holding hands.
Miss Anthony.
Yes.
Try another tack. What is the secret of your work?
Secret? No secret. If there's something to do, I do it.
And you finally won in the New York State Legislature.
Oh, yes. The New York legislature passed a law granting women equal property rights and mothers equal custody rights with the fathers to the children. Only a few months later, they rescinded the law.
Rescinded? All that work for nothing?
No, it wasn't for nothing.
Do you ever lose hope?
No,
Failure?
there is no failure. Failure is impossible. There is
Oh,
just going
warrior.
on.
A small silver-haired warrior. I don't believe her.
Sometimes, perhaps, I get a little weary. Oh, Mrs. Stanton, I long to rest my full soul closed. There's so much to discourage. And I feel so alone.
You are not alone.
But it's usually just one of my tired moments.
You've worked so hard, haven't you, Miss Anthony? And you worked to end slavery. You were active in the Underground Railway. You stood by Sojourner Truth.
There was a woman, 6 feet tall. Every insult that could be hurled for being Black, for being a woman was hurled at her, but she kept on.
And finally, you won.
Years and years. And finally, what did we win?
The right of male citizens to vote shall not be denied on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
And our rights. We women are Black, white, have many colors, different races. Servitude, oh yes, we have that.
Susan, I know you're disappointed.
Frederick Douglass, how could you desert us?
Can you not wait till the cause of the Negro man is safe? You know I'm in favor of women's suffrage. The times are still perilous.
Wait, be patient. How long have we women been hearing that? I'm tired of being patient. If we cannot get Congress to support us, we'll go state by state.
You were campaigning not long ago in the West.
Well, that's where we'll win. The West. Strong, pioneering folks. Independent. The East, old fogies. Wyoming granted women the vote back in the 1860s. Colorado's just come in.
Well, there are people in Colorado who say women's suffrage will lead to an increase in female insanity.
Well, yes, all right. Let's look at statistics. Women have been voting in Wyoming for over 30 years now, and it is documented. Right now, there's just one insane person in the whole state, and that one is a man.
What happened in South Dakota? Weren't you there recently?
Yes, last year, the Reverend Anna Shaw and I traveled the whole state.
Oh, that must have been difficult for you. On rough roads by wagon, train scarce, no hotels.
She wants to say difficult at my age.
She is in her 70s.
She thinks I'm too old to go gallivanting about. But oh, Anna, what a time we had.
We're in the uncovered wagon, 8 hours, the sand like powder, the wagon wheels sinking deeper, deeper, no sleep last night. We shared a one-room cabin with the whole family. Water so brackish we can hardly drink. We made it into tea, worse. A bath, oh please. Fuel is buffalo manure. The smell permeates everything we eat. Middle of the night, cold, freezing. We've left Custer City. Our hosts have lent us their buffalo coats. Huddled in the open wagon, blocks of heated wood at our feet.
An adventure.
Full moon in the sky. Trees covered with hoarfrost. Cold, still air seems to sparkle in the brilliant light. All night long we're talking. Plans, dreams, the vote will happen soon. It must happen. Buffalo Gap. No train. No one in the station. No room in the station house. A pescador. The ticket office, a stove. You sit on the floor. You share out your few raisins for breakfast. Still no train. I pace up and down the platform. You lean against the wall, bury your face in your hands.
I had a good sleep.
4 hours late, the train comes. Finally, we arrive for the meeting.
The meeting is canceled.
Why?
Well, the ministers have all gotten together and persuaded us it is better to have no suffrage meeting tonight, it being Sunday.
Susan, what can we do?
We can rent a hall.
It was glorious. The church singers singing, the great audience interested.
What happened in South Dakota?
Well, we lost South Dakota.
Oh, how hard for you.
No, that wasn't what was hard.
No bitterness about South Dakota.
South Dakota was bitter. 3 years of drought. Starved horses, starved cows, everywhere grass withered. But her face is withered. And I know she's only in her 20s. Standing in front of the tumble-down house, she looks past us, thinking over the question.
The hardest thing to bear in my pioneer life? To sit in my sod house at night and listen to the wolves howl over the graves of my babies.
Such misery. That's what I remember, Miss Bly. Not mine, theirs.
And yet you go on with your great battle for suffrage.
We go on, of course.
You have been much maligned, Miss Anthony.
Oh, have I?
Burn her! Burn her in effigy!
Well, you did that, didn't you? One cold January night in Syracuse.
Old, angular, unsexed, personally repulsive. And that voice!
You try speaking with a full dental plate in your mouth that doesn't ever fit right.
Ugly as a mud fence.
Don't forget the newspapers.
Lean, cadaverous, and intellectual.
New York World, 1866. How about 1873, Western Press?
Boulder dash of intense vanity, coupled either with lamentable ignorance or a guilty intention to misrepresent.
What else did it say? Go on, outside of this.
Outside of this, her argument was well stated, and her deductions generally logical.
I like that one.
But now, after 50 years of struggle,
And how many more years?
now they sit at your feet, and you have known all of our presidents.
Well, they certainly don't sit at my feet. As for that Grover Cleveland, what right has he to talk about the sanctity of the home with his mistresses in the White House carrying on? Ridiculous. And yet, Teddy Roosevelt was no better. Oh, I'd like to light a fire under him.
Mothers bring you their babies.
Miss Anthony, we've come 25 miles in a carriage to this rally in Lincoln, Kansas, me and my daughter, to see you.
How old is your daughter? She looks very small.
4 weeks. I want you to hold her.
Oh,
Could
well,
Could you take her, please?
Oh. I hold this tiny baby in my arms.
And when she is grown, I will tell her Susan B. Anthony held you in her arms.
And no more name calling.
Apparently, I'm not ugly anymore. But I haven't changed, you see. I'm certainly no prettier. First, they laughed. Then, when my message began to be taken seriously, they got angry and vicious. But when I wouldn't go away, they got used to me. They even began to expect me. If I didn't appear at meetings, they got nervous. Well, as for the press, you know, Nellie, I've always been good copy. No one even makes fun of my clothes anymore. Everyone knows my red shawl. Well, sometimes I need a change. So tonight, I'll wear my new white shawl to the suffrage convention. Only the newspaper men, they don't like it one bit.
There is a note from the Washington Press Corps, Miss Anthony. Will you open it, please?
It says, no red shawl, no report. What, you won't cover the convention?
We will not.
All right, boys. I send to the hotel for it. Minutes go by, the audience is silent.
We're all waiting. Here's a shawl, Miss Anthony. Put it on.
I put it on.
Oh, hooray!
And the newspaper men take up their pencils.
I wonder what has carried her these many years. What faith?
He wants to ask me, do I believe in God? Oh, Elizabeth, if you were here, you'd give her a good talking to.
Susan, you are a coward.
At least I'm not a bigot.
You calling me
All right, you're an atheist.
agnostic.
That doesn't give you the right to persecute women who do believe. Liberals can be bigots too.
Don't you know the worst bigot of all is the church? And you're truckling under to them.
We have to welcome everyone. I'm not about to persecute women because they're Catholic or Jewish or Muslim or Unitarian.
All you care about is making the movement popular.
Of course I do. Don't you see this anti-religion fuss is just distracting from the main work, the vote or nothing? You said so yourself.
Don't you see that until women are emancipated from their superstitions, enfranchising them with the vote will do no good at all? Don't you see that until women are freed from superstition, until they can think for themselves, the vote won't do any good at all?
And I say women must be enfranchised before they can be emancipated from superstitions. And don't you see that women will only think for themselves when they realize that what they think matters, when they can make themselves heard by voting?
Before they can be free to vote, they have to be free to think.
And what good are thoughts without the power to make them real?
Oh, that was a fight. Wonderful.
Wonderful. But it went on and on. People began to worry.
If they split, well, what's going to happen to the movement? We'll fall apart.
And then you came out with your woman's Bible, made things even worse. The uproar, the flap.
How dare she rewriting the Holy Scriptures from a woman's point of view? Blasphemy.
I propose we censor Mrs. Stanton. Out, out, out of the convention. We demand a resolution against her.
Against her.
You better not begin resolving against individuals, or you will find no limit. This year, it is Mrs. Stanton. Next year, it may be I, or one of you. Will you resolve to vote to censure a woman who has stood for half a century, the acknowledged leader of progressive thought, fighting for the absolute freedom of women?
You calm them down. Thank you, dear friend.
I still don't agree with you.
As usual. Oh, you are a thorn in my side.
I'm a thorn in your side.
I suppose you'd like a divorce. No, wait. I shall not allow any such proceedings. I consider our relation for life, so make the best of it.
I did.
We did.
Do you believe in God?
Believe, not believe. What is important?
You don't believe in God.
I don't believe there is any God who is made happy by my getting down on my knees and calling him great.
Try again. We hear that you are interested in the works of Miss Annie Besant.
Oh, yes, the noted English spiritualist.
Does that mean that you believe in her theory of reincarnation?
I'll tell you the really humiliating part, all right. After a soul has lived in the heavenly kingdom for 15,000 years in glory, in order to get back here so it can help us poor souls, it has to go through the doubtful process of getting born again. And going through mumps and measles and teething over and over again.
So you don't accept any established religion?
I think you and I had better just hang on to this world and keep tugging away to make things better for the next generation.
Do you firmly believe that women will get the vote?
It will come, but I will never see it.
Miss Anthony, do you ever pray?
I pray every single second of my life. Work is my prayer.
Are you afraid of Of
Death? My sister Hannah is sitting by the window, and she knows she's dying.
Talk to me, Susan. Talk to me about all of us meeting somewhere, someplace after.
I know what she wants. If I say I have faith, I'm lying, and I've always been such a terrible liar.
Susan?
She wants comfort, words, any words. And what she gets from me is silence. And now every hour of every day, I just feel her gone from.
Do you believe, Miss Anthony?
I believe that no particle of matter is ever lost. So why should any particle of mind ever be lost? No, the thought of death doesn't bother me. Not my death.
Telegram, Miss Anthony, from
From your daughter, Elizabeth. Why is she writing?
read it, please.
My hands are shaking.
October 26th, 1902. Mother passed away today.
So few words. So plain. But the world goes on, and I can think of nothing.
Miss Anthony,
I don't know anything about heaven or hell, or whether I shall meet my friends again. Any more questions, Miss Bly?
But Susan, you do know.
Elizabeth?
please call me Nellie.
Nellie. And yes, you shall call me Susan.
Susan. Well, many people call you Aunt Susan.
The young ones. They're all my nieces. I never had any children, never married, but my family
Is the world.
oh,
Have you ever been in love?
oh God. In love? Oh, bless you, I've been in love 1,000 times.
Really?
Yes.
This is it. Oh, an exclusive. Her confession.
Yes, really.
I'm waiting.
And I knew they wouldn't last.
She won't say anymore. I think, Miss Anthony, Susan, I think many people love you.
Isn't it amazing? I've stayed alive long enough. After the curses, the spitting, the shouting, the sneering, to hear that.
Oh, she's telling me the interview is over. I will just tiptoe out. I wonder what she's dreaming about.
Why of all people do I dream of Nellie Bly? The interview, of course. So long ago in Philadelphia. We made the Sunday edition of the New York World. 7 pictures. 7 pictures of me at 76. Well, Why not? And now it is 1903. I'm 83. I'm still here in Washington for the convention. It's already begun. I'm late. Oh, but there's Anna, one of my nieces. She's looking for me. Now Nellie is gone, and here I am at the convention. We have a new president. Carrie Chapman Catt's going to do just fine. You chose her yourself, Susan. They can do very well without you. I'll just slip into the hall quietly.
Hooray!
What? Oh dear, Anna, wait, what's the uproar? Well, what has happened?
You happened, Aunt Susan.
I happened.
Susan B. Anthony died in 1906. She was 86. She never saw the day women got the vote.
But I never doubted.
The funeral was in Rochester.
No grieving, no black crepe drawn, no shades, please.
Over 10,000 mourners came to say goodbye. Many Black people. One old white-haired Negro man limped down the aisle, stood for a moment at the casket, and plucked a leaf from the flowers. He said, "I'll keep this to remember Miss Anthony by."
No tears, pass on, go on with the work.
Aunt Susan, do you think there will ever be a
Absolutely, there will be a woman president. And you, young folks, do I have to keep coming back from wherever I am to stir you up? How can you not all be on fire?
That wonderful play, that was the first section of that play, Susan B. and the Tennessee Waltz, and it will be done in the fall live when Theater for the New City opens again. So next week, we will present a reading of a new play by Barry Primus called Tuesdays, Not Saturdays. And don't forget to donate to Theater for the New City. You can go on the website, theaterforthenewcity.net, because that's the way we're going to be able to open. And so from the wonderful cast of Susan B. and the Tennessee Waltz, and the writer, Toby Armour, and the director, George Ference, we say to you, au revoir, mais non adieu, which means goodbye for now, but not farewell, till we all meet again. Ciao. Bye.